Ed Labatch for the Warriors. He's 3-0. He's going against Brian Hart for the Red Rovers. Hart 1-0. Two premier wrestlers from these programs.
And I think both coaches looking at this very anxiously. Easton wanting to see how far Brian Hart's come back, and Wilson looking to see how far Ed Labatch can go.
Hart, a career record of 69-27.
I believe he was 7-3 last year when he got hurt. He did not finish the season. Oh, nice move by Labatch.
Labatch has a career record of 81-38. He's the winningest current wrestler on the Wilson team.
Even above Curto?
Yeah, I think they do have him above Curto. Yeah, Curto was 41-8 last year. That was his first season on the varsity.
Oh, okay. 41-8. That's quite a few bats.
Yeah.
49 in a year.
Minute to go, first period. 2 bouts to go. We just showed you a state runner-up, Tony Curto. We're going to show you a state champ next.
Oh, nice peek out by Hart, countered by Labatch.
That state champ, Mike Rogers, for the Red Rovers.
For a while, it looked like the match would get out of hand here with Easton against Wilson, but now Wilson's come back nicely, and everyone thought they might narrow the gap a little bit this year, even though they aren't as strong as last year, but Easton doesn't look to be as strong either, and they actually have narrowed the gap somewhat here.
Well, it's not mathematically over. They got to figure out a way to pin Mike Rogers. They got to figure out a way to pin Brian Hart, and then it's tie, and then we talk about the tiebreaker.
You are an optimist.
Well, that's mathematical.
I know you're a Wilson man.
That Warrior blood runs deep, I'm telling you. But you're right. I think the one thing that you don't expect to take place in big matches is the bonus points.
Right.
And that's really what the Red Rovers have piled up here tonight.
You know, we saw a lot of bonus points Wednesday, too, with Easton and Wilson, or Easton and Liberty.
That may be their legacy this year. They're going to score a bunch of bonus points. They're going to give up a bunch of bonus points. No score, end of the first period. Brian Hart takes the bottom. Plenty of action here tonight.
And I just think adding another weight adds to that a little bit, because you water it down just a little bit. Now you go 14, you got to spread them a little thinner. And you're looking at 2 of the premier programs in Easton and Wilson. Imagine some of your schools, or the smaller schools like Penarjuan. First match, they had a forfeit 4, the upper 2 and a lower 2. And I think it's a fairly common occurrence. It's hard to get 14 different wrestlers from the same school at different weights.
Oh, my fear is in February, toward the end of the season, you're going to see a lot of forfeits, not only because of injuries in the 14 weight classes,
but the weight.
The weigh-in rule. Yeah.
The weigh-in rule,
Both
exactly. You can't juggle your people, and you're going to find people forfeiting because they don't want to lose their certification at a weight.
The rule is simply this, for those of you that haven't heard. To wrestle in the postseason at a given weight, you must have half of your weigh-ins during the season at that weight. So late in the season, let's say Easton wrestles Northampton, and they want Mike Rogers to wrestle 145, and he can't weigh in there because he's trying to drop to 35 for the tournament. All of a sudden, Easton says, well, then we're not putting somebody in at 140. I think you're going to see a bunch of forfeits in February, and I think the byproduct of the National Federation rule is going to be less participation, not more.
Absolutely, I agree. And you can bump up and wrestle 2 weights above, but if you don't weigh in 1 above your certified weight, you get recertified. So that takes away a big play. Now, it's possible now to get recertified in January, but you still have to have half of your matches at the weight you're going at. So a lot of things really are going to be different this year.
I just want to see a passivity rule. I've been begging for that for years. I love the freestyle rule. Whoever initiates going out of bounds loses a point. That's it. Other guy gets it.
Well, it certainly would stop running off the mat.
And we see just casual ones, like in the bout we mentioned a couple bouts ago. Just you're on the edge of the mat, you get a fresh start. You know what? Let's make that illegal. Let's wrestle toward the center.
Very precarious position here. Stalemate signaled by, wait, no.
It's going to be a penalty point.
One point, something happened there.
Unclear signal by Jerry Rodriguez, but a point is going to go to Hart.
Only thing I can figure, either grab the fingers or the clothing. I have no indication of what happened. Is he grabbing his singlet there?
Not in the back. Still trying to find out. We're asking some of the wrestlers on the Wilson bench. The official...
Close to grabbing a singlet.
The official word was squeezing his thingy, I think, from the Wilson bench. Grabbing in the crotch area is what was called by Jerry Rodriguez.
We could say excessive grabbing of the clothing.
Okay. We've had plenty of action here tonight. It's about time to close this thing down. I didn't know that was illegal. I mean, I never thought about it that much. But I'm kind of speechless.
We just were blacked out for 10 seconds. Okay. That might improve our ratings, X rating here.
At the very least, it's 2-0. We've moved into the third period with Labatch on the bottom.
That 1 point could prove very big in this match.
It really could.
Pretty much as we thought, though. We would expect a close match here in this bout with Labatch and Hart.
I think Steve Powell called this one a toss-up and going through the bout by bout.
Well, I think big question for Steve. You're not sure how Hart would come back this year after missing almost an entire season last year. And it looks like he's doing a pretty good job here against one of Wilson's finest, Ed Labatch.
Wilson has high hopes for Labatch.
As they should.
And you know, the nice thing, they have high hopes for Kushneric and obviously for Curto as well. The thing you look for in the postseason, again, a little early to talk about postseason, you got 3 workout partners right there. Kushneric, Curto, Labatch are all going to be wrestling consecutively to be able to work each other through this. And in fact, you're going to see probably John Hoagland dropping to make it a 4-weight run for the Warriors, as he looked very impressive tonight in our opening bout.
And we've said so many times, your workout partner is so important. And that's why success breeds success. When you have 12 good wrestlers, that's really feeding on the success of those kids, because it just magnifies. And it's very difficult to get just one good wrestler on a team.
Well, the other thing that these programs always have, you know, Easton has it. If you're a new guy in the room, you look across the room and there's Mike Rogers, returning state champ. Well, what's he doing to be a state champ? Wilson has the same thing. You know, a freshman comes in. Hey, there's Tony Curto. Now, I watched him in the state finals last year on TV. I want to see what he does. Now, all of a sudden, you know, you got guys with similar work ethics and guys that are successful. A rising tide raises all boats.
That's right. When you wrestle with them, you say, hey, now I know what it's like to wrestle a state champ. And then some days you have success and say, well, if I can keep that up day in and day out, I can get there also. And that's why tradition is so powerful in this sport. Once you get it going, there's a good chance you can keep it going.
When you talk about tradition, certainly the conversation starts and ends with the Easton Red Rovers. They have never finished lower than 6th in their entire history in the District 11 tournament. They finished 6th one time, 5th one time, and the top 4 the other many, many, many times they've been in the tournament. And of course, they have never failed to produce a district champion.
And their opportunities look awfully good again this year.
Yeah, like their chances, do you?
I certainly do. I'd bet on that.
Man. There's the escape for Labatch. He's now got 37 seconds to try and secure a win here.
There's that 2-1 net. As we said, that penalty point looms large. The Bats needs that takedown.
I heard a shout from the Wilson bench, find a way to win. Out of bounds, 9 seconds to go.
Tough call there. Hart thought he may have got it.
Didn't look it from here.
You have to have control in that situation, and that just because you have the feet in doesn't necessarily indicate you have control. It's not like locking around the legs.
Hart's going to win it, 2-1. Extends the Rovers lead to 36-21. And now they'll trot out the state champ.
And now we'll see that tilt we've been talking about.